Friends, hello, fellow players in this game. We all know that Shakespeare said, all the world is a game. No, is a play. All the world's a play, and men and women are merely players in it. And I think we come in and we exit and enter. So this is really, really powerful when we take it to a more personal level and ask ourselves, what role am I playing? What garment am I wearing? What am I contributing to this play? We can also add the drama triangle that I talked about not too long ago. You can see the link here, which is about being a villain, a victim, and a rescuer, or perpetrator, a victim, and a rescuer. Now, those are very common actors or roles in all the plays that we do see on stage, right? To make it more interesting, more dramatic, there's always that triangle, and it really keeps us engaged. If we leave a play or a movie where it was a really good plot with all these three roles, we liked it, right? We thought it was really good, and I was wondering, and you kind of try and figure out, how it's going to end and if people are going to change their roles, if the villain is becoming a good person or whatever. And honestly, guys, we enjoy it. Let's be real. That's why we go to plays and movie theaters and all these things that keep us entertained. Now, I don't know about you. My own acting role in this drama triangle in on this stage is not very interesting to me anymore. Neither my own or most people out there. To me, it's like, okay, I've seen it enough. I believed in it, I got engaged in it. It gave me a thrill, it gave me a feeling of anxiety or aliveness. But now I don't really want to go to any of those plays anymore or movies. I want something else. And if you are on that same frequency where you feel like, okay, I'm definitely done with the victim, right? That's when we start taking more charge of our lives, become more responsible, realize we have choices. So then we move from being a victim to maybe being a more sovereign being. That might even put us in a role of being a villain or a perpetrator. But there is like a progression from being a collapsed victim to start standing up and realize that we are actually not a victim. We are full, beautiful expressions of the divine, complete, fulfilled, harmonious. That is our true expression. That is our true identity. And I want to give you permission in case you need it to drop the role. But let's first look at what role are you playing out there right now? We have played many, many roles in our lifetimes, haven't we? All the angles of the triangle, we've played them all. And then all the other ones there that are all related to the triangle, probably with different flavors and versions. But we have all done all of it, and we have done the blame game. We have been, victimized by our parents, our friends, our government. We've all done it, and let's see if we can drop these roles now. But ask yourself if you want to play this little game just to kind of take off your garment. What role are you playing right now in the world? Take a moment and just look at yourself. How are you engaging in the world? Are you completely identified with it and fighting, doing the fighting, blaming, whatever game? Then you might find that you're a victim if you're in the blaming game, or if you're fighting, you might find yourself in the perpetrator role. Or maybe you're out there trying to rescue everybody. The people in the higher role, they're actually not very high, but we have given them our power so that they seem that they have a higher power than we do. Like I've talked about before, they are not very advanced. They're not very developed or mature. They're very much living in the very low part of that drama, of the drama triangle, where they're just so identified with it and they're so enjoying their role. And remember, those people are also playing a role. Remember what Shakespeare said, that all the world is a stage, all of it. That includes the leaders and you and me and anything in between. And we are merely the players. Imagine we are all on a stage and we are all playing our role. What is your role? And are you enjoying it? I think that's what everything comes down to now, as we're definitely moving into the new paradigm more and more, where joy and expansion is more the flavor and the name of the game, where in the old paradigm, it's like this, contraction, limitation, lack, struggling, hardship. Those are the roles that we have been playing. Very, very dramatic, would you say? If you look back in the history books, it's been very, very dramatic. And lots of people have died. And I mean, we all died, right? But more dramatically and more in the name of something, to being a hero or a rescuer, and then you got killed. These are all roles. And these roles are really, being amped up right now. It's like, okay, we're going to get one more war in, if we can, before the whole darn thing collapses. And it looks like so many people, they're really into it, They're like, it sounds like in Europe, they all want to be part of this war, not all, but there's a big interest in playing the role as rescuers, right? They're going to help. But in their way of helping, they become perpetrators to the ones they want to get rid of. And that's why the ones they want to get rid of, they're all the victims. So if you really look at that triangle, it is just acting up like crazy. But at this point in time, you and I have a choice to jump into the triangle or stay out here, not touching any of it. I know that will be tricky, right? Because there's like, we want to do something, we want to help, we want to stop the war, we want to, whatever it is. That's that energy that is driving us onto the stage again. And it can be very strong, especially if you still have a lot of unresolved trauma and pain and victimhood. If that's still in there, there is a strong attachment to engage. And then you're feeding what you don't want, right? So the biggest invitation that I can give, in case you're interested in my invitation, is to not touch it. Not touch it emotionally. I don't think it's a bad idea to follow what is going on, so we kind of know what's happening, and if we need to, prepare ourselves for something to make it through the next few years. I think that's wise, maybe because I'm doing it myself. There are also people who have no clue what's going on. They're just living their merry life and having, sorry, I don't want to deal with it. I just want to enjoy my life. That's beautiful. You're bringing a beautiful, beautiful energy to it. That is the new energy. But then there's also those who basically are so identified with surviving and making money and making ends meet that they have no time to look into it. They just read the headlines and believe what they're reading, and then they go on, back to their work, their 2 or 3 jobs a week in order to make ends meet. So there's a big mix, of course, but I'm speaking specifically to you here on my channel, assuming that you resonate with what I talk about. Let's do our best to not touch emotionally what's going on in the world. I have been following maybe a little too much at times, I will admit, but I'm not emotionally attached to it. There's a curiosity that wants to know what is going on. And there's still, I shared that the other day, there's still part of me that kind of went, who's the bad guy? Who's the good guys? It's just so ingrained in us. We're so programmed, for the good and the bad and the right and the wrong, the whole duality thing. So I'm aware of that. I'm just watching myself, but I don't have any emotional attachment to it. My only attachment is to stay here because that is what I came here for. And I'm assuming many of you watching my channel also know that you came here to be that presence while this whole stage production collapses. And then once it's collapsed, and it's probably going to be intense at times, it's going to be an intense play. But do remember that it is a play, and we can come in and out and play any role we want. Or we can also just be, I guess, in the audience, being the observer of it. I mean, we are all of it. We are observers, and we're also the stage and the people on the stage because it's all one big play. But we can choose to step back from that emotional push, or drive into it. So we can be more here and just allowing the show to play itself out until it's done. And I did hear recently through somebody who was, I think they're connected to some higher or whatever, uh, channeling or something. And they said, we came here, we're having front row seats for what's going on. And I thought that's a great one. We came here because we wanted to be present. We wanted to be here and experience what we're going to go through here because we are going to have a whole new paradigm taking birth. And that's exciting. And that's why we wanted to be here. And we have front row seats. So let's take that front row seat and not jump into the play anymore. So we can sit here and bring that beautiful energy that we are when you're connected to it and let that just ooze out. And that will most likely help the play complete itself sooner than later. Because if we all still jump in there and fight and blame and have opinions and whatever we do, we're feeding the play on the stage and it just keeps going longer than maybe needed. So here's the invitation. Take your front row seat, grow a little garden so you have food to eat in case the stage tells you, no, there's no food to anybody. This is all blah, blah, blah. Then you go, oh, that's nice. Well, I'm going to go out and pull out a carrot off my garden and I'm just going to chew on that while I watch the show. Or instead of watching the show, go and tend to my garden. So we are here for a reason. I actually heard years ago from the people who are with the Bruno Gröning circles, if you know that. He was a healer back in the 50s. He died in the 50s, and but his work has continued. He's a healer, so people tune into that. But the people who have been running that organization since then, they said that Bruno, He said that there were trillions of souls, not millions, not billions, but trillions of souls who wanted to be here at this time, but they couldn't get in. There were no more tickets left. So we are in a very privileged situation, actually, because we wanted to be here also. And the trillions of souls who also wanted to go, they couldn't get in. So let's take our role as light beings, as spreaders, vessels of the new paradigm. Let's take it seriously, with not seriously as seriously, but like with joy. It's like, wow, we got in here and we have front row seats. So let's enjoy the show and let's be that energy that's coming in, that is making the old paradigm collapse because it's just growing out of its skin as the new is coming in. So congratulations, my friends. We are the souls who got here for a reason. It's not a mistake you're here. I know I've gone through that a lot of time in my lifetime too. Like, why did I come here? It makes no sense. Nothing makes sense here. But now we just know, okay, we're just going to sit through this and spread our beautiful energies from within, not getting too engaged out there, except if there is something we need to tend to, and then just stay in your heart, connected to your soul, to the stillness, the presence, and just walk around like that. And we all may be surprised what it's like when more and more of us do this. The whole thing might just unravel sooner than later. It's worth considering, though, huh? All right, my friends, until we meet again.